service announcement about something that I've been struggling with my whole entire life, but now because of crypto, I'm not struggling anymore. It's the idea of being early to a market, to an investment, knowing that you found something and discovered something before everybody did, and it might actually take days, months, or even years, and how I screwed this up. So, Michael Saylor, he just posted on his Twitter, which I'm very active on Twitter. You can find me at Crypto Dreams at Crypto Metagene. That's where I'm at. I'm always posting or responding to stupid shit, but also posting a lot of good stuff. I get a lot of, it's just a really good tool, but it's also a very bad tool. There's a lot of garbage that's on Twitter, a lot of just stuff that's just so triggering. So I have to figure out how to just get rid of all the political crap, all the religious crap, and just specific on like a few people in crypto is really all I actually pay attention to. Michael Saylor is one of them. So just think about Michael Saylor and what he had to endure just to get to where he is now, let alone before the Bitcoin, right? The guy is a freaking walking genius. He sees shit that we don't see. He's a billionaire. He's extremely intelligent. He did exactly, his discipline is off the charts. The guy bought Bitcoin after he did a tremendous amount of research and realized that his cash is going to zero over time. The real estate, all that, gold gets inflated, and how his cash is just worthless. And even if he buys assets with it, how the assets depreciate and or increases in value or number and whatnot. So supply and demand makes it erodes his purchasing power. And he did all that studying, and then he decided that this is the best asset in the whole entire world. Now, what he doesn't tell you is he has bought a tremendous amount of Bitcoin for himself, not just MicroStrategy company. He literally turned the company from $100 share to now it's $1,500. In the past few days, it went up 50%. If you just buy and hold his stock, you don't even need to trade. You just buy and hold his stock. Well, I guess that's a form of trading. You buy and hold his stock, you're going to make a ton of money. So anyway, but the major point and the point of this quick video is sometimes you're early to a market. One time I was early to real estate when I was younger. I had an opportunity for $150,000 buying 9.5 acres in a house. I was going to buy it. All I needed was 10% down, which was something like, I don't know, 100. I think it was 150,000. 10% down, $15,000 to get into the deal, and then it was like $800, $900 a month. That damn piece of property, okay? I was 2 years early to the original boom market in real estate back in the early 2000s. I just couldn't imagine, like, where am I going to get $70,000 to be able to do the pavement, for the major subdivision, how to, get a Mylars created and engineers and all to subdivide the property and all that. Because I was early to the market, I didn't recognize like how important just holding that property would have been for a couple years. And then on top of it, I had no vision, so I couldn't imagine that there was people that would give me the money. If I said, look, I'll give you $70,000 in profit, 100% your money, as soon as I sell these properties, if you lend me $70,000 so I can develop the property. People would have done it all day long. I found the property. I could have got into the deal with $15,000. I could have sold each one of those properties. There's 9 lots. I probably could have sold them for at least $100,000 to $125,000 a lot, because it was at the Jersey Shore. So that would have been over, close to $2 million. I could have leveraged the whole deal with $10,000 or $15,000. I could have sold them all off. Even if I wholesaled them, you're talking about $800 to $900,000 wholesaling these properties. I could have paid off a guy that would have lent me $70,000. Could have paid him off, put hundreds of thousands of dollars in my pocket, and I could have done this before the age of 24 years old. Why I didn't do it? Because I had no vision, and I was early to the market, and I had no prior education whatsoever. I just knew if I bought this property, it would have went up, but I had no other, I had nothing else. No other vision, no other anything. I didn't have anything. Just a hunch, just intuition, a download from God. So I used my brain, my logical brain, told me not to get in the deal. 2 months later, a builder bought it and he made $1 million. I got so disgusted. I was going to buy another piece of property. It was $30,000. It was 1 acre. It had a house on it. The house was kind of decrepit, but it could have been fixed up. I was going to either have somebody fix the house up for $30,000 and I was going to flip the whole property for $150,000, and I probably would have had something like maybe $60,000 into it. I made the bad choice of talking to my realtor in the office, and one of the other realtors overheard me. She had a builder friend. They secured that property that day with $10,000 down. It was like $30,000, so that's $3,000 investment down. They ripped the house down, put a new house on it, and they sold it for $180,000. Made a boatload of money. I said, fuck it, I'm buying another property. So I bought a property. Something told me it was going to be a gem. I paid $75,000 for it. It was 5 acres. They said I couldn't subdivide it. I said, well, let me do my due diligence. I did my due diligence. It said I could subdivide it. I bought it for like I said, maybe $72,000. I had like $7,200 down in the deal. I subdivided it. I didn't do a major subdivision like I should have, but I did a minor subdivision. I sold the property for $200,000. And after I paid all the bills and whatnot, paid off my car and whatnot, I had like $60,000 to $70,000 in cash. And I was like 25, 26 years old. I then bought a house, a duplex. They needed a lot of work. And I bought it for $160,000 down at the Jersey Shore. Fixed it up, and the market completely died. The market died and stayed dead for 18 years. And I had to put all kinds of, it was tough. I had to put every money I had into it. There's all kinds of problems and whatnot. I was early to the market with that place. I held on to it. As soon as the market started going up, I sold it, which was the most dumb thing I could ever have done. I sold it for $240, and I could have paid it off. As soon as I sold it, it doubled in value. It was worth $450,000. I think it's worth $500,000 now, and I sold it at $240. And I only got about $60,000 profit out of that. And because I had so many crypto gains, I had to pay like $80,000 in taxes. So all the money got pissed down the drain. Another thing I was early on was a property in Florida. I paid $80,000 for it, sold it for $175,000. I had to renovate it, had like $40,000 into it. I thought I was the man. I thought I was great. Well, the damn thing's worth $250,000, and it's a desired neighborhood, and it keeps on going up. So sometimes when you're early in markets, you can be in the New Jersey properties. I was really early. That $2 million deal, I was 2 months early than the builders, and didn't understand it. The other one, I just, I was, loose lips sink ships, so sunk that deal. The other deal I sold, did everything like 80% right. However, I didn't do a major subdivision because I could have made an extra $100,000 out of that deal, but I was early and I was starting it, and I kind of was getting it. Then I bought another piece of property I didn't even say, but but I bought it at the top of the market, and it went from a $130,000 piece of land down to 30,000, and I had to let it go to the bank. That sucked. That property then doubled in price, went to $60,000. I had the money that I could have got in and paid cash, but then again, I had no vision and I was negative, and I'm like, oh well, I never want to build a house on that. Well, that property got sold for $60,000. Somebody put a house on it, and now it's like $500,000. So that property itself went back up to $130,000, probably up to $200,000 because it was over an acre and a half. So I could have bought it for $30,000. Well, I let it go. It was worth about $30,000. The whole market went to shit. I could have then bought it back a few years later for $60,000, and I could have leveraged it with $60,000, 10% down. Even if it was 20% down, that would have been like $12,000. And I could have paid like a few $100 a month, and then I could have flipped it and made all my money back that I lost. So the moral of the story is, I either didn't pay attention to the market cycle, I was either too early to these real estate deals and didn't realize what I had. The one, I was 18 years too early. And sometimes that's going to happen. But if you're early to a market, to an investment, what I've learned in my old age now is fuck it. Just if you know it's a good asset, but you don't know when the damn thing is going to appreciate and go to the moon, that's okay. Just buy it and hold it until it goes to the moon. The same thing with cryptocurrency. I had no idea, had no vision about cryptocurrency, had no idea, the same template. I had no idea where the hell this shit was going to go. Completely got myself, I had no education about crypto, nothing, whatever. Could have bought Bitcoin at $80, didn't, finally jumped in 2016 in September when I saw it go from $340 to over $800 to $900, and it never saw $340 to $500 ever again in my whole entire life. Had no idea, thought it was a scam and whatever, because everybody else was calling it a scam. That's why I thought it was a scam. There wasn't because it was an actual scam. So fast forward to now. I got most of it right, and but I could have played a lot of this stuff a lot different if I would have just recognized this one thing, that I'm early to the market. There's a lot of things I don't know. Don't have an education on, and because I could be in a hell of a lot better position in crypto than I am now. I'm in a very good position with crypto and in life, but I could be 10 times more further than I am now. If I would have just realized, like, sometimes you're going to be early to markets and you don't need other people to validate you. You don't need other people to tell you anything. Let your research and your facts guide you to the truth. Take your position and then just sit there until your numbers hit. Michael Saylor did that. Michael Saylor, he was ready to ride his Bitcoin all the way down to zero. He never capitulated. Every time the company had money, he put it into Bitcoin and just forgot about it. And there's a lot of wisdom you can get from listening to him and how he does stuff and his rationale. You don't really need to diversify. If something is a really good asset, you go 100% into it. That's how you make money. They tell you to diversify, but the billionaires don't diversify. So anyway, as Bitcoin is hitting 72,000, trying to break through to 73,000, I want you guys to think about that. It's something that I realized that I wish I would have realized in my life. And if you ever have kids or somebody that's young, and you want to teach them anything, teach them these basic fundamentals that sometimes, like for example, I can remember I was like a prepper and I had a lot of gold and silver and stuff just sitting there that I was accumulating from like the early 2000s. And I just said, you know what, this is stupid. This is never going to happen. Forget about it. Well, as soon as I did that, I stopped listening to Max Kaiser. And as soon as I stopped listening to Max Kaiser, literally a few weeks after that, he started talking about Bitcoin. And he was talking about Bitcoin under $1. And then I remember it was a few years later, it was Simon Dixon and him had a meeting. And it was still, Bitcoin was really cheap. It was under $1,000. I remember. So the thing is, like, I'll make out okay. I'll do good. I'll do better than most people, but still, like the hundreds of millions of dollars I could have made if I would have just had an open mind and just looked at the research, not what people were saying, and just did what the research told me to do. And if I was early to markets, just be early to the market and just sit and wait. It cost me 200,000 plus thousand I could have made if I would have kept my duplex down at the shore in New Jersey. I could have also I could have made an extra $100,000 with my property in Florida, and my other property that I had paid off. I sold that too. I shouldn't have sold that. Should have just rented it out. And even if I sold it today, I would have made another $100,000. So we just talked about $400,000 I could have made just by tweaking the system a little bit. Let alone the investments and all. For an example too, Clean Spark was something I found at $1.30. I could have done a different thing. So as I'm looking at the prices going up and I'm seeing all these good prices for different things and whatnot, I am today. I've been kind of doing it, but I'm going to start creating a book, writing a log of all the good things that I remember and all the stuff that you want to remember when you're trading in and out of an asset, or if you're going to buy an asset for long term or whatnot. There's certain things that lessons learned, I think, and going forward would be very advantageous to learn and to talk to you guys about. Also, the website and the blogs and all that, we're going to have that soon. Have my little consultant business. That's all going to happen in 2024. So anyway, I hope you get some value out of this. And like I said, don't worry if you're early to a market. You just buy and you wait, and then the market will then discover that what you have is undervalued and then pump your bags for you. All right, my friends, don't chase the shiny objects. Find the objects before they're shiny. See you, bye.